Audio check. Audio check. Mhm. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Or afternoon in a few more minutes. Angie, baby, how you doing, sis? Always a pleasure. Hope my audio's good. Audio check. Are we good? I was gonna try to do something. I'm not sure if it was gonna work out. Audio's good. Let me know, please. See. Anyway, let's get to it. Hopefully, y'all can hear me good. Well, yeah, because the lights is on, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Yo, you've been very supportive too. Very, very encouraging. You and Miss 702 definitely have been very, very encouraging. And let me thank y'all very, very, very much. I could tend to be camera shy at times or not for the camera, especially like my the vocabulary be like try not to talk the same way I did when I was younger, but get better speaking. But what I wanted to talk about today was data and information. The way today we have endless access to information and data, and obviously if we do, then our kids do. So I was having this thought that the kids should be um, advanced, smarter than what the kids were back then. I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but information for us growing up was so difficult to come across. Like you really had to put in the work to get this information, whether it's encyclopedias, the libraries. Of course, the teachers taught us a lot, teachers in schools and people we know word of mouth. But today, information is a button away. Data is a information away. So I'm thinking IQ, the average IQ should be higher. But you remember writing, being in school and you needed to remember something like often it was when we got in trouble, but we would have to write down the same thing over and over or repeat it over and over and over. I need to understand how today the information is. how is it being observed by the younger generation? Because my son, I'm seeing that he's 11, and I see that he forgets things or he doesn't remember. Like it takes him a minute to remember. Salute Bucks, how you doing, good brother? You know he's a older, intelligent, good brother too. Bucks, Bucks, you remember how difficult it was on the back in our time to get information, to get data, or waiting for a weekly magazine to come out, or the newspaper, or watching the news late at night for information. It's like everything is just a button away. Everything is a button away. Get the information. So the kids should be more intelligent these days, but it seems like it's not the case. It seems like it's the opposite. Respectfully, respectfully. But how? What is it? I'm trying to understand from y'all perspective. Maybe y'all can help me out. How is the information being observed? How is it? How come it's easily forgotten? Rather like us back in our time, if we wanted to learn something, we would learn it, find out everything we needed to find out. Hours of studying, writing things down, and absorbing this information. Mm, Goomba, open-minded, good brother, peace. Another old school brother, the elder, open-minded. I was talking about gathering information, or like I like to say, data. Today's today is so easy to come across any information. It's a button away. It's a click away. So how come our kids are not getting smarter and smarter and smarter? I need some feedback. Good people who's open-minded, Bucks, Angie, baby, mm, New York Nick, eh? Good afternoon, Eric in the chat. Mm, good afternoon, great afternoon, great afternoon. Absorbing information. Should our kids be more smarter or not? Although we have to take into consideration because information is so easily accessible, I think that at the same time, there's a lot of misleading information too, or not the right info. Like it's not facts. It's opinionated. Everybody has their opinion on whatever data. I know y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Everybody has their own opinion on whatever data is out there, whatever information, whatever. Everybody has their, oh, I believe this, or I don't believe this, or I believe this, I don't believe this. I was supposed to have a guess. It's like when we was younger, we used to go to school, right? And our backpacks used to be so heavy with all them books in there. Today, nope, the kids, they got maybe one piece of paper and the laptop. Wow. I try to have my son absorb as much info as he can and remember things. But sometimes we have dialogue, and I'll say something that I might have told him a couple years ago. He's like, "Oh, I remember that." That is so. That is very very dope. The school says instead of giving homework, they say just read for 20 minutes a day. I'm the parent that says no, you have to read for an hour. I did that to him at a very young age myself, open minded. the library and books here. I think by the time he was I want to say 8, before he was even 8, he had already read Kobe Bryant, the autobiography book, like 900 pages. It took him a long time to finish the book, but he did. And the words that they were using was so big, so big. But even like even on the phone, you could pull up something and read, or you get the option to have it they read it for you. Audio books. I'm personally am a big fan because it allows me more and more and more. Like you could be on the move listening to a book literally, or information as I like to call it. Mm, but yes, I mean, as a parent, I might have said this before, but sometimes I feel like I feel like I could be too tough as a parent when it comes to the information. Yo, in the math, today's math, it's not yesterday's math. I don't understand this math that they bring it home to my son and talk about do it like this and do it like that. Why they changing the math all around and making it like more difficult? How does math evolve? Can everybody? How is math evolving? This is wow. It's what makes it too. The math at this age too, it becomes difficult for me to help my son because they're doing things different. And my son's math is like he could get it all in his head. Common core. Well, Um, what do you mean common core? Like the common, the majority? That like too common? Yeah, nah. Like I have adult kids, and I had kids at a very young age, and when they were younger, I wasn't the best dad. But thank goodness everything works out. Everything is in place today, where everything is great. But I learned from that, and my younger one, 11 years old, Rolex, I'm on him. Like I decided to figure it out from home just so I could be there for him and make sure he getting led it in the right direction. Not only him, but his friends as well, people around the neighborhood and community. You know what? Angie, I have 3 kids that already graduated high school as well. One more makes me 4 for 4, and it's my last little one. Yes, yes, New York, Nikki, exactly. So this. My son's been struggling with it often. Like it's confusing because he's the type that you ask him a question and he can get it in his head. He'll on the fly. He'll say it real fast. But then to show the work, it's like that's even different too. You can't show your work this way. You got to show it this way. I don't know. I think it's to dumb them down or make it difficult for them because it's like you're right. You're absolutely right when you say you're gonna come up with the same answer. So I guess that's the way math has evolved. Me and my little son will go back and forth like, no, it's like this, it's like this. I end up being wrong. right? Hey, babe, sorry I didn't pick up your call. I had sent you the invite link. I was gonna have you come on for a few minutes on your lunch break. Sorry, but I was just talking about data and information, how it's so easily accessible today. Like we didn't. I know you would know because you ran around with a heavy old backpack. You know, oh, man, is it freezing? Don't freeze. Ah, don't freeze. Oh, trying to come up, trying to get it on. I can't. I can't. I can't. Why is it not doing anything? Try this. Stop. Darn it. Can y'all still hear me? Barely. That is my wife. Barely is my wife. She calls me every day on her lunch break. Unfortunately,
Hey,
hi babe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
You can hear me and everything?
Hmm. Might want to
Nice.
put your name tag away though.
Well, it's not. It's over here.
But yeah, I was talking about data and information. How um this it's so easy to come across information these days. Like unlike us back in the day, we had to go searching for it, go to the
Absolutely.
library, study, you know. And the math, open minded brought up math, and I said that it's different because you could come up with the same answer, but the way they're going for their answer, it's don't make sense for me as a parent.
Right.
So
I know, because, right, they were always talking about him doing like problems with tens, like figuring out the answer in blocks of tens. And
mhm,
he always could come up with the answer in his head, but it was always very difficult for him to like show his work.
right, right.
Like
Always
that was
struggle with that.
he
I,
still struggles with that. Like,
it's very, very common, very common.
and
We did have them reading at a very young age. I mentioned
mhm.
earlier how I had him reading the Kobe Bryant book. It took him a long time to read it, but that was one of his first books that he read
Yeah.
um,
And that was like
completely.
what, like 600 pages, something like that?
I can't even remember. I know it was like really, really, really thick,
Mm.
really, really thick. Can you see the comments at all on your
I
side?
can. Someone said they want to see how the kids solve the problem. The breakdown was confusing, and she's right, because
Hmm.
that they don't care necessarily if you get the right or wrong answer. They just want to see how you got the answer.
Right, you get
And
more points based on showing the work.
you know,
It's like
and
you,
and like back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was like you either got it right or you got it wrong.
you think is it possible that they just want to make it difficult, like how could I say, like discourage our kids, like push them away from it, maybe like
Maybe.
don't get into it.
I think that they're more concerned about the process than actually if they got the answer right. I think they want to see the kids' process behind the the whatever the problem is. They want to see what their thought is, like, oh, well, how did you get this answer and how did you come up with that? Whereas
Mhm.
Rai is just very smart in his head and he can just add them up, and
That's right. Right.
he
Right.
he reminds me of my grandfather was like that
Mm.
too. He could
But I was just absorbing. I was curious to know how the kids are maintaining or observing the information, like to remember. Because us, if we needed to remember something, we would write it down over and over
right.
and over and over and over
Mhm.
again. Like,
And nowadays
and
they don't.
mm, they don't. Right, right. And you gotta remember too that there's teachers out here too that it's just a paycheck for them. He's
Mhm.
he's come home and told us this before. That the teacher said is I'm only here for a paycheck. Something to the, something in that aspect.
Open-minded is right. You just to your like point. He said bottom line, they don't care about our children. A show with no child left behind. So in other words, no matter if your child get it or not, we need this seat for the next student.
Mm,
And it's true
right,
though, a lot of places just want to push them through so that they
mm,
graduate and they have no understanding of anything.
right. There should be. I think that he should still be ahead of where he's at.
Mhm.
But I think that after the pandemic and the
Mhm.
online school,
Mhm.
I think that affected our kids significantly, significantly, like
Mhm.
a delay. Like there was
Mhm.
a lot of horse playing, going on during the pandemic. So now
Yeah.
that they're going on to middle school, they're getting evaluated, and everybody's
Yeah.
all over the place. Some people are.
Well, that's what
Mm,
he was saying. Remember when he was saying, "Oh, we've been doing a lot of diagnostic testing and stuff like that because the teachers are trying to gauge like where they are specifically, like if they need to go into a different group or that kind of thing."
right. Okay. Say now that you said that, but assuming everybody's different, right? Everybody's gauge is
Yeah.
different. So then, where does the teaching start? Like, how do you dictate that? Like, if one student's IQ is way up here and another
Mhm.
one is way down here, how do you balance that with
I mean, I think he had mentioned
just
something
just
about,
opinion, just opinion, like just how you feel,
yeah,
just
I,
opinion.
I think that they had mentioned that they do split up in smaller groups. So I think they have blocked off time, at least at his school. I can't speak for every other school, but they have block time where if you need extra help in math and English, because it sounds to me that none of the other subjects really matter at this point. It's just math and English. That's
Mm,
really what I feel like, what I
math,
got a
man.
sense of that the school even cares about is just math and English. Nothing else
Hey, we
matters.
even if we talk about social studies,
Yeah.
you know how my mind works and how I feel about that.
Mhm.
Obviously, like they're gonna teach them the wrong things or
Mhm.
misleading information or like
Mhm.
this guy discovered America or this guy did this or this
Right.
guy this guy was the first one to invent whatever thing and
Uh-huh. And it's not even the case.
it's not even the case, right? It's often an idea or it's stolen from our people
Mhm.
and then they take the credit for it.
And
Mm,
I think too, open mind is right though. Teaching does start at home, and unfortunately, there are a lot of parents in this world that are not involved in their children's education as much as myself and my hubby over here. We are always on top of him, like, did you do this? Did you do that? And we always look through his homework and stuff like that. And I think a lot of parents don't. And sometimes,
mm,
like, when he gets stuck, I have to Google things because I don't even know. I'm like, what is
depending
this?
how
This isn't math. This is like,
mm.
some foreign
It's
thing
like
to
a
me.
it's even like one of the last ones he had where they said I can't remember verbatim, but they wanted to say which one was this out of the
Oh,
four, which one
was
is
it the parallelogram or something?
yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
But they were all like the same. They whether you're going left to right, up or down, they were all the same. Maybe an exception of one, maybe.
Yeah,
but it's just confusing. It's
right.
very, very tricky and
But I think
confusing,
it's tricky because, in the sense, they look all the same, but they're not the same because their measurements may be a little bit different. But still, if you look the definition up, I think that you were probably right.
and
There
yeah,
was.
I see it was like, salute Lady JJ. I see you in the chat. Peace Queen. Thank you for stopping by. Let me give you a quick introduction, babe, to the people. Lady J is a supporter of everyone in
Oh,
on YouTube that I be listening to. She's always supporting
okay.
the channels heavy, showing love. Angie Baby as well. Good people is always positive message, open minded. I've been communicating with open minded babe since I started watching YouTube for a whole bunch of
Okay.
years. For a whole bunch of years. He's from Freddy's neighborhood in the Bronx,
Okay.
Decatur Street. He's from that neighborhood. That's how we started communicating. Uh,
Ah, very nice. Well,
New York
welcome. Hello,
Nikki,
all.
New York Nikki is another supporter of everybody that
Okay.
just these are all positive people that be in the chats, man. You know how I am. Positive
I
vibes,
do.
justice, love, and whatnot. And I'd be surprised that I got a nice little good crowd over here.
You do, babe. You got a good thing going.
It comes with some people say some crazy things on the comments sometimes. It's like, but I
Mhm.
just I laugh. I don't take it personal.
You're just like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, their words
Mean
don't really
anything.
move me. Right, right. Like
Gotcha.
coming
Gotcha.
from
Gotcha.
them, and then so coming from people that don't know me doesn't mean nothing. It matters from people like you yourself. You know, you're my wife. I
Right.
live with you. You're
I
or
know.
these beautiful good people in the chat. That, you know, just say some random people with weird names, and it's like,
You're right.
oh,
In weird
mm,
pictures and all
right.
kinds of weird
When
things.
somebody said yesterday, somebody called me Kanye
Kanye East?
East, East,
East?
like instead of West,
Oh,
East, Kanye East. I started laughing.
I don't know about that,
My,
but that's funny.
somebody told me last week I should fire my barber.
What? I mean, I don't think you should fire him, but you did go back and they did do a better job. But firing him,
No, it was just people always just got something. It could have been right. It could have been great. They would have
they would have
still said
just,
it,
yeah.
like anything,
Yup,
anything.
yup. People always
As
have
the
to have a
kids
negative
say,
attitude. They can't just be like
it
happy.
happens a lot. It happens a lot. Like,
Yeah.
but we're brainwashed. We wake up in bad moods. We wake up not wanting to start our day. So what you expect the rest of your day to be like?
Exactly. 100%. The rest of the day is gonna be bad if you wake up. It's
Like,
gonna
oh,
start bad and it's just gonna be bad.
mm-hmm.
But
No, it's the first time I have you on the platform. It's dope too.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw the message and I was like, oh, because I know sometimes you'll send it just maybe like a test to see if it like went through. But then I tried to call you and you were on live. So I was like, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna pop in real quick.
Yeah. That's what I
And
was
then when
saying.
you
Was like
said,
I was waiting for a surprise. I was waiting. You were the surprise. So great
ta-da,
dialogue and great build, and it went well. So maybe we could do some more of this. You know, we have 13 years of experience in a relationship. You
we
know,
do, babe, we do. We've been through a
and we're still
lot.
growing, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
growing.
Mhm. We're still doing our
But
thing.
you are my backbone, and I will say that publicly. Like without you guiding me and holding me down when I was a mess, and you kept me together, and you believed in me, and
Yeah,
I feel like I'm the best version of myself. And same
yeah.
thing for you. You know,
Absolutely. We balance each other out when you're like, we don't need that, or we're not, You know me and my, oh, we need this and we need to get that. But you always balance me out. You're my peanut butter to my jelly.
Oh. So how's your day going though? Good.
You know, it's going good. I can't really complain too much, you know? It's Friday, it's beautiful outside, only a few more
Mm,
hours left.
WTA.
We
It
deal
says
with
go ahead.
we deal with the crazy public over here, but you know, could be worse.
Oh, I thought you was reading the comment.
No, it says we must be protective in our children's education. I'm a part of the PTA in my grandchildren's school that was open minded. That's
Mm,
actually a great
uh,
point. And I've actually thought about that. Like maybe I should join the PTA. I just
mm,
don't know where it would have to be after work, but it's
but
definitely
even more so,
something.
like even just in the community, like
Mhm.
I know a lot of these kids that went to IOE and
Yep.
now they're growing up and becoming young men.
Yep.
So it's the school will make it difficult for good people to get in there. They'll boot you out
Hmm.
real quick.
But I think too, negative perceptions of certain schools tend to scare off people from sending
Mhm.
their children there
Right,
because
right.
they
We
might
experienced
think
that.
we've experienced that
We
firsthand, like, oh well, it's such a horrible school, it's such a horrible school. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you don't know if it's horrible or bad because you never walked in there to actually see what it
go ahead,
is
remote.
during the day.
Right.
You have to at least give it a shot. And it's like I tell Rye, I said, you know, you might think it's so awful, but you have to be the one to change the narrative. It
Right.
starts with you. And if you can change the narrative and say, well, it's not so bad, it might need to be, you know,
But
updated and
it's funny you say that because I was having that thought. Like the kids that graduated from IOE this last year and are making their way to Kennedy, they're a good batch of kids. Like
mhm,
there might be a few bad apples, but I think we're in good hands with those kids being the future.
yep.
Because
And
there's a
I
lot of boys and girls. There's a lot of them that are smart, and yeah, we have the troublemakers, or in some cases,
mhm,
13, 14 year olds in the same grade as somebody 11 and 12 years old. And that could be a little intimidating on the kids.
mhm.
But
Open minded is right though. Like a lot of people, when their kids act out in certain ways, they think they have ADHD, they think they're bipolar, they think they have a learning disability, and reality is that they're just bored
mhm.
and it's too easy for them.
Remember that. I remember with Rai Rai, even when he used to sit down and read or write whatever he was doing,
Mhm.
he would be shaking, moving
Mhm.
around and whatnot. I was like, "No, stay still, stay
Yep.
still." I guess you
Well,
might still be struggling with that a little bit now, but
yep, yep.
I don't think it's as much as it was.
Yeah. Well, and they would give him like the ball seat so he could like bounce and stuff, and I just
You
think
don't gotta
that
make accommodations though. You don't gotta accommodate the so-called HDHD
you're
or
right.
you
But
know.
I think sometimes if you do that, like, and just let them kind of be like bouncing or fidgeting with something and as long as they're not disrupting everyone, then I think, you know, if it helps them and they're better for it, let them sit on a
Mhm.
ball. Who cares? You
Right.
know, I think there's bigger battles that the school department and the education system need to fight than, you know, punishing a
Well, you
child.
gotta know too. They've cut budgets on teachers
I know.
tremendously. At least where we live at, it has.
They have a
I
lot.
think that I think the budget should have got cut somewhere else. I think the
Mhm.
school, the kids, like this is our future. This is
Yeah.
the generation coming up. Like I was talking about this the other day, investing in yourself. Like
Yeah.
you have to invest in these kids in a good
Yeah.
school. Like
Mhm.
I'm glad that he's in a school with people that come from the very same places we come from. Instead of sending him to
Absolutely.
school out in the woods with some people that ain't even from his community
Uh-huh.
and really don't care about his best interests. And when I say his, I'm
Yeah.
speaking for kids in general.
It's
Mhm.
very true though, like, and it's a good thing because he's there with kids from the neighborhood and they all come from the same place, so it makes it a little easier and more relatable. They can understand, they can, kind of bond, I guess, in a way. And then if they see each other out in the neighborhood, they can hang out, they can go to the park or wherever the case is. They're
Mhm.
building those relationships
Right.
within the community
I'm big
versus if,
up. You know how I am. I am big on community. I
yes,
love
you are.
the the that part of things. And today is going further and further away. Like that connection
Hmm.
isn't there the way it was when we were younger, or when a lot of us
Right.
was younger. So
When we
I
were
try to
younger,
keep.
our neighbors watched out for us. They if they were making dinner, they'd be like, "Oh, you want to sit down? You want to have something to eat?" Blah blah blah. Like, and nowadays it's like the kind of the opposite.
Right. But at the same time, like we often say this too, like we knock the home training, so to speak, but we have to remember too that there's a lot of single mothers working 2 or 3 jobs
Yeah, yeah,
to keep afloat. So
it's
it'd be
very
kind of
true
difficult.
though. It's very true. Like a lot of
That's why if
parents
I
are.
could see if I could come across anybody from the neighborhood at least, it's like my home will always be open if you need some help with anything, like
Mhm.
even homework or schoolwork or some advice or whatever the case may be. Somebody to
Absolutely.
play sports with at the park or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I enjoy that I get to be a better parent these days than I once was.
Absolutely.
Babe, I know you have to get back to work.
I do. I was just looking and I was like, it's 12:28. I have like
Yeah,
2
that's how
minutes.
time flies. Time flies when you're
It
having a
does when
great
you're having
dialogue.
fun.
I don't know how it would sound if we were next to each other because of the echoing and whatnot, but from a
Mhm.
distance, you over there, me over here, it sounded pretty good.
Does
Sound
it? Oh,
quality and
okay.
all that.
Good, good.
And there was a lot of engagement in the chat.
Yeah,
Both of
there
mine did.
was.
This was
So, yeah,
good. This was
we'll have
great.
to try it. Maybe if I sit like in outside or in the opposite room or something, it won't be so echoey.
So I tried one time. I think if I go outside, the Wi-Fi gets weaker. But we'll figure it out
Ah.
and get some things going. This was a test run to see how the live would go with my beautiful significant other.
Aw, thank you guys. I love you all. Thank you for your support, but I must return to work.
But I love you, sweetie. I'll see
Bye.
you
Love
at
you, babe.
4:30. Wow, that was amazing. Hi, Miss 702. Good to see you. That was my wife. We were discussing we were discussing the school system, the data, how easily data is together today, excuse me. When a lot of love, a lot of love. How come? You know what? There's a lot of queens in the chat. Well, but the analytics say that only it says 93% of the audience is males and only 7% on women. It seems more like the other way around. If you ask me. Please feel free to comment, subscribe. That was a great dialogue, a test run. But I will be doing some more videos with the lovely missus and maybe some relationship advice, some of our experiences through the ups, trials, and tribulations, because it's not just convenient. Like we still growing every day and being better and better and better. Both of us are not the same people we were 13 years ago. We've grown and evolved, and the love has too. Like that spark, when you first get with somebody, that excitement, that spark. Like I still look, I can't goosebumps just talking about her. What is it called? Got it right here. Yeah, the power of positive thinking. The power of positive thinking. I should be finished by this by now. I gotta finish this though, because I've been sleeping. I've been slacking on that. Thank you for pushing me again, Miss 702. You're such an encourager and influencer. It's humbling. It's flattering. Like if you weren't motivating me, I would probably keep the distance from the camera and the YouTube thing. But you're like, you motivate me. Like I really appreciate that. Humbly grateful. Thank you for helping me reach full potential. The power of positive thinking. Whew. Well, guys, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Hit the thumbs up if y'all was feeling it. Leave a comment on the replay. Let me know what y'all think. What y'all would like for me and the wife to discuss. Mm, You are amazing on your own. It is written. Mm, yes, yes, yes. It look like I'm definitely gonna have to be doing this a lot more on my own. Like, but yo, thank y'all so much again. Peace, love, stay blessed, y'all. Have a good day. Catch you on the next one.